This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
A day after a deadly shooting, friends and family honored a Champaign teenager with that balloon launch. Good evening. I'm Jessica Coons.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. I'm live here on Kirby Avenue, right next to International Prep Academy School, and right next to an incredibly emotional scene. The family of 17-year-old Johnathan McPhearson is gathered here. They just had a balloon launch. They're hugging. They're sharing stories. They're trying to understand why their J.O. is gone. He was shot almost exactly 24 hours ago on this very spot. We have team coverage for you tonight of the latest criminal investigation in the Champaign School District. First, we start with WCIA 3's Cole Henke. We were both out here at 5:30 when those balloons went off. And it was silent. All you heard were the cars driving by.
Yeah, that's right. The whole scene just obviously very somber, and the location for it is obviously because he was shot here, but also that he was shot right in front of his mom's apartment. McPhearson was waiting outside for his mother and his sister to come let him into her apartment. They were only a couple minutes away when they got the call that McPhearson had been shot and he was found. His sister spoke with us before the release on the condition that we do not show her name or her face on screen. She said she couldn't believe that this happened to her little brother.
My brother, he wasn't a perfect teenager at all. He wasn't a perfect teenager. And I just want to remember my brother as, I want everybody to remember my brother as a good kid, very family-oriented.
Now, Jonathan's friends and family from Champaign and Chicago came down for this balloon release today. The family asked everybody to bring red, black, and green balloons for the release. Red because it was his aunt's favorite color. Black because everybody plans to wear all black to his funeral. And green because his family would always say they were like slime. They would always stick together.
There definitely is that. You can tell this is a family that sticks together because they're sharing those stories. They're also they are hugging and smiling, and you can tell how much they loved him. Cole, thank you so much. Again, like Cole said, this is a tough scene for them to have to be here on this spot. Police, we are now learning, they say that his death was targeted. They had a news conference today, the school district and police. Now with that side of the story, our WCIA 3's Renee Cooper. What did you hear at that news conference?
Well, multiple city leaders were there today. The superintendent, of course, of the school district, Deputy Chief Nathan Rath, as well as a few others. And the deputy police chief says this was absolutely not random. For the person who was sitting next to McPhearson when shots were fired, he was not hurt, according to the deputy chief. Now, he wouldn't comment on whether that person is actually helping police in this investigation, but earlier he made a point to say police need the public's help, and people are purposefully withholding information from multiple investigations. As for the students now mourning a classmate, Superintendent Sheila Boozer said a response team is here to help. The school district says they're also working to get ahead by teaching about trauma.
We also do preventative and proactive work with our students that includes teaching our students about managing stress and trauma through our social and emotional learning curriculum. We offer training for our staff using certified consultants who are versed in Trauma 101, youth mental health first aid, psychological first aid, and trauma and equity.
The Champaign Police Department continues to...
Now, also at the news conference, the deputy chief said Champaign police have seized 16 guns in the last week. I asked him if that's unusual, and he said that's a lot. And there's a few unknowns we still have here. We don't know if Johnathan McPhearson's death was related to any other violence we've seen recently. And Rath wouldn't comment about any suspects either.
I know when I talked to the mom and his sisters and his aunt, they all told me they don't know who would want to hurt their loved ones. So, and they have been interviewed by police, and they're wanting them to find whoever did this. Renee, thank you so much. And like we did say, this deadly shooting is just the latest in a month of violence in Champaign, the school district. On September 8th, student brought a gun to Centennial High School. He was later arrested. The next day, gunfire hit a Champaign school bus. A driver and 3 students were on board. No one was hurt. Then Wednesday, September 15th, shots were fired on the north side of Centennial while students were in the gym, or were in gym class outside. They heard those shots. Centennial, Jefferson, and here at IPA, they all went on lockdown. September 22nd, metal detectors were put up in the high school. They were taken out the next day, and at that news conference, the superintendent is now saying they may become a permanent part of that school. And there are teachers over there who want that to happen. They want students to be wanted when they come inside that school building every single day. And school safety, not just on the minds there at Centennial. Also, Jamie Mays was at pickup today at IPA, right behind us where all of this happened. What were parents telling you?
Jennifer, parents were all telling me that safety is a concern right now, and they're hoping that everyone can work together to find ways to put an end to the violence. As parents picked their kids up from school, they could see this flower memorial in memory of Johnathan McPhearson, a 17-year-old who was shot and killed here less than 24 hours ago.
It shakes you. It's really shocking because anyone could be out there. You know, if we know a number of parents that walk their kids home right through that pathway, so it's disturbing. We spoke with a neighbor who heard what happened, a sound he won't forget.
I was just leaving my house to get in the car around 5:30, and I heard shots as I was leaving my house. At first I thought it was fireworks maybe, but then I realized it was too loud for that.
He was devastated to hear the details after raising his kids in this neighborhood.
It's sad to see a young man's life lost and to see that kind of violence happening so close to a school.
Some IPA parents say this is a reminder that the community needs to fight the violence together.
Everybody's concerned and want to know what are the other things that we could do to partner with the community as well as the city to keep our children safe.
And it's also a tragic reminder of how quickly life can be taken away.
I just think it shows how this kind of thing can happen anywhere, anytime.
This just makes us want to wrap our arms and you know, tighter around our kids and kind of have a grasp on, you know, safety and what's really going on here.
Police want anyone with surveillance video or information about this shooting or any others to contact them. You can also leave an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers. Jennifer?
Now, when they were talking about in your story, wrapping their arms around each other, you saw that out here. Besides the family, about 50 family and friends, the mayor was out here. Other city leaders were out here, and there was almost nothing else they can do but just hug each other because it's almost a disbelief of what's happening. Jamie, thank you so much. We do want to say we've got the power company out here now. Those balloons did go into the power lines. There were several explosions. Of course, that was a little bit shocking, but they're going to be taking out those balloons and making sure that the power isn't lost to that building. We have much more on this story at the top of our second half hour, including an incident that happened today at Centennial. We'll be back with Renee with that, but we first go back to Jessica.